From a tan Sierra just outside of Brainerd, it's the DigiGods. Well, they've never done this before, but seeing as it's special circumstances and all, they can knock $100 off of that True Coat. It's Wade Major and Mark Kaiser.
Oh, what a cool intro. Oh, that True Coat. Hey, Corey, who was that?
That was Shot Out of the Wood Chipper by Lorenzo Raffa.
Thank you, Lorenzo. Cool reference.
Lorenzo Raffa.
Yes. So, I forgot to ask you last week, how was New York?
It was good. I spent 5 days with my... Thank you for asking.
Yes.
3 weeks after I returned.
Yeah, well, you know.
Wade, caring friend. 25 years. Fantastic. I spent 5 days with my girlfriend.
Yes.
Now, as you know, I am dating a woman who lives in Paris.
Yes.
Now, I met her in 2004 at the Cannes Film Festival.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you I'll tell you and the listeners, because I'm very honest about dating online and all the horrible stories I have. This is a 12-year odyssey that I will distill to about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Met her in 2004 at Cannes, right? Thought she was cute, but nothing happened, right?
Right.
She wound up coming to Los Angeles in 2005 because she is very good friends with Michael Dana, the film composer. And so in 2005, she wound up staying with me. And we had a very nice time, a very nice adult time.
Uh-huh.
Then I went to Paris in 2006, right?
Mm-hmm.
My birthday. I go to Paris, and it's unbelievable. Wow, greatest time ever. I love this girl. She's fantastic.
Amazing.
But she had already started dating a guy, and even though she was in love with me, she felt as if she had to continue with the guy she was already dating. So, brokenhearted, in 2006, I returned to Los Angeles. And then for the next 10 years, we communicated only by email. Checking in with my good buddy who I met in Cannes. She's checking in with her good buddy who she met in Cannes. 10 years. She's got the boyfriend. She has a daughter. And she breaks up with all this over 10 years, only on email. And then I decide a few months ago to go to Paris again. First time in 10 years.
Yep.
Haven't seen her in 10 years. I get there in Paris. It's on.
Yeah.
Rocket ship to the moon. So fantastic. So we decided to have a long-distance relationship. So she was in L.A. in August. We met in New York a couple weeks ago. I'll be in Paris in January, and we are going to attempt to hope for a miracle that we can be together.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Brilliant or stupid and foolhardy.
You know, go for it. That's what I say. Go for it.
Right, Governor?
All right. Well, let's dive in. We're gonna be getting inundated here with screeners pretty soon. So let's delve through all of this stuff, and then next week will be the big holiday shindig, right? Next week's the big holiday show.
You better give me one. You better give me one of those holiday packages. You never do.
Oh, sure.
No, you never give me one of the holiday. You say them
holiday
all.
Package.
Hey, wait! Can I get the box set of some crap ass show you'll never watch?
We have some. We actually have some giveaways. We have some giveaway stuff.
We're giving stuff away for
giving stuff away.
You giving anything to me?
Maybe I'll give you something. Maybe I'll give you a gift. Maybe I'll wrap it up with a little pink bow and
kick me in the nuts. Is that the gift?
Or something like that.
All right, start saying.
So
things.
you know what? Interesting
I'm timing
show
this show, by the way.
Thank you. Into the Badlands. Have you been following Into the Badlands?
I have not.
This
Although
is on-
Badlands, you gotta live them every day.
This is from
Let your
AMC.
broken heart stand for the price you got to pay. Keep pushing until it's understood.
Yeah.
And those Badlands start treating you good.
So this is like many centuries in the future, post-apocalyptic thing. This is shot in the UK, and it's very, but it's got like a mixed Caucasian and Asian cast, and it's very kung fu-y and very Hong Kong, and it's cool. It's really super cool. And Daniel Wu is the guy who anchors this cast. Really, really, really cool. And it's kind of like a Hong Kong martial artsy Mad Maxy thing shot in the UK. It's really cool. And the only reason that this even came across my radar originally, and this is the first season. It doesn't say first season, but it got a second season, is because Sherman Augustus, Tim's very good friend and mine, Sherman was cast in the second season. So Tim and I were Skyping with him few weeks ago when he was talking about all of his action stuff with Master Didi choreographing this, that, and the other thing. It was pretty cool. So it sounds like the second season is going to be even more just kick butt. But anyway, Into the Badlands, a full-blown post-apocalyptic martial arts spectacular from the UK, and it is absolutely fantastic. It's really, really good. Lots of behind-the-scenes stuff, mainly in how the action was all put together. Really, really very cool. You got to check this out. This is on Blu-ray from Anchor Bay with an ultraviolet digital copy on it. Super fantastic. Great artwork. How about that? You like that big red, and he's got the blades and the whole thing?
Yeah, it's a little martial arty.
It's good. It's all cool. It's very super cool. And then if you're a fan of Anne of Green Gables, well, boy, I have a treat for you, boy, Mark Kaiser. You love Anne of Green Gables.
You know what?
You are all over that, aren't you?
The only people who love Anne of Green Gables more than me are our listeners. They love Anne of Green Gables.
They do, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this is a new Anne of Green Gables with Martin Sheen. He does not play Anne. I just want to make that clear. And this is from on PBS, and it's totally worthy of all previous Anne of Green Gables. It doesn't really transcend it, but it's for a new generation. It's a lot of fun. This was a Canadian production, of course. They're the ones that really, really love this. It belongs to them. It all takes place in 1907 on Prince Edward Island. And so, you know, we owe the Canadians another good Anne of Green Gables. And Martin Sheen is perfectly wonderful in this as well. Ella Ballantyne stars along with Sarah Botsford. It's good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yes, those things.
Do we love Paul Giamatti enough to watch him in Billions?
Boy, that's a good question.
It's all about high finance in New York, and I do love Giamatti, and he definitely gets to just snarl and be his just sinister best as an attorney. I think he's a U.S. attorney. And, also starring in this is Damian Lewis, who kind of had a moment there, and now I feel like the moment's over.
Yeah, I agree.
It seems like he could have gone on to do big movies.
He's still considered kind of a semi front runner to be a James Bond, right?
Really?
Isn't he sort of?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I think he was.
Idris Elba.
He's too old now.
What?
He is too old.
How dare you?
He's the same age as Daniel Craig. They're not going to replace Daniel Craig with a guy who's the same age, and Daniel Craig's like, everything hurts on me. I think Idris is flattered just to be part of the conversation, but he's, you know, if he were 10 years younger, I think that would be a legitimate discussion.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I skimmed the show. I did not see all of it, but the Blu-ray looks great, and there's look, it moves fast. It's got some wit to it. It's definitely a smart show. It's not stupid. Doesn't play down to everybody, and that's kind of a nice thing. Everything's it's a bit over the top, a bit like almost like a imagine like a nighttime soap.
Yep.
On pay cable is kind of what it's about. So you kind of have to get into that whole vibe.
Right.
But I thought it was kind of okay. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to watch the whole thing, but I thought it was okay.
Right on. And then Hell on Wheels from AMC.
Hell on Wheels, I know her.
That's right. Hell on Wheels, also from AMC. Season 5, Volume 2, the final episodes. Don't know why it came to this, but there it is. So they have to wrap it out with this very lackluster second half of the final season. Should have been the whole final season. Anyway, a lot of good performances here, especially Cole Meany, and this has been fine. The whole, it never really felt like a true Western, to be honest. The whole thing with the railroad backdrop, creating the railroad. The first transcontinental railroad. But I like the overall vibe, even though it's not a pure Western vibe. And the show goes out with a relative kind of a bang. Also, by the way, shot in Canada.
Blame Canada.
All right, Mark, let's talk about new movies. Fort Tilden. This was a kind of a thing at South by Southwest. I really struggled. I gave it my best. I really tried. I can't. These movies anymore. I can't. Fort Tilden is, of course, the. You should know Fort Tilden. You've been to Fort Tilden, haven't you? When you were a kid or something, haven't you?
Where's Fort Tilden?
It's
sounds familiar.
It's part of New York City.
The Peter Tilden.
It's where everybody kind of goes to the ocean over by New York. It's some seaside New Yorky place.
You know what? I have to say this, and I remember this as a kid, and I still think it now. The beaches in New York are disgusting.
Okay, well,
they're not the beaches in California or Hawaii or anywhere else. They're horrible.
All right. So, well, anyway. This is a couple of women, two friends, just, kind of trying to find themselves and forge the rest of their lives and spending an afternoon in Fort Tilden while they're doing it, and various things happen that really make no sense, and it feels really drawn out, and I don't see the point. I don't know how these movies get funding. I really don't. It's just, let's take a couple of men in Fort Tilden and have them talk about life and do nothing. I don't get it. But it got some love. It got festival love. So, written and directed by Sarah Violet Bliss and Charles Rogers. I guess they're tapping into something that I'm not. So, whatever. There it is. And then we also have this thing, Army of One, which I don't really know what to make of this. Larry Charles, who directed Borat, by the way, directs this, and it is this thing did not get a real theatrical release for a litany of reasons, and that's a little bit shocking because it is, again, directed by Larry Charles, and it stars Russell Brand and Nicolas Cage, and you would think, okay, well, isn't that enough? No, not really. Nicolas Cage, this is loosely based in fact, and I don't know how much fact there is. I can't imagine there's very much. But the idea is that Nicolas Cage is this kind of derelict ex-con guy who decides that he's going to capture Osama bin Laden all by himself. And I vaguely remember a guy being captured at an airport somewhere, and he was carrying a sword, and he was on his way to go get Osama bin Laden. That's the story this is based on. I don't remember any other details of that, but what's weird is that Russell Brand plays God and gives this guy his instruction to go do this, and that's where this really just kind of gets unhinged. It's just not, I don't know. Weinstein made a good decision, I think, not to really do anything with this.
Well,
but why was it funded in the first place? I just can't. I just don't get it.
Because Nicolas Cage, he works international. It's good. Russell Brand, Nicolas Cage, those are two good names for international sales.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. So it's funny about Daniel Radcliffe because I think the same thing about what's his name from the what's it called, the Lord of the Rings films.
Yeah.
So those guys are so rich now. They don't have to work anymore, right? So it's very interesting when you get a sense of like what films they decide to do now that they're young and rich and don't have to work anymore. Can just like go party and club for the rest of their lives. Daniel Radcliffe has been starring in a couple of interesting films, and one of them is this thing called Imperium, and it co-stars Toni Collette. And in the film, it's based on this former FBI special agent. And there's a right-wing terrorist group in Virginia, and Radcliffe has to help bring it down, and Toni Collette plays his boss. And so to kind of get into it, this FBI agent, he shaves his head, he goes undercover, and is racist, neo-Nazis. And in this movie is an actor who I absolutely love, Tracy Letts. Tracy Letts gave probably one of the best performances on Broadway I've ever seen. He won a Tony for it when he starred in the revival of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. He is so incredibly commanding as an actor, and he's great in this too. He plays a talk show host. So it seems, you kind of look at it and you go, this is kind of stupid, right? But it's really not that bad. Imperium with Daniel Radcliffe, Toni Collette, and one of my personal favorites, Tracy Letts.
Very nice. So we got a new Kickboxer, Mark. Did you know that? Kickboxer Vengeance.
Hang on, wait. I have a reaction to that.
Yeah. So, it's a new Kickboxer. It's a remake of the original Kickboxer. Just want everybody to know that. Kickboxer Vengeance, same story. Two brothers. One of them dies in a really brutal fight, and the other one says, I will avenge you, and then trains with a guy and becomes really badass and avenges his brother. So, there we go. That's the deal. The interesting thing about this is that they connect it to the original by bringing Van Damme back. Van Damme does not play the Avenging brother here. He plays the guy who teaches the Avenging brother. Directed by John Stockwell, who's a real solid director for action material. He's always done really good stuff. So John Stockwell, not a problem. Script, kind of a problem. Acting, really a problem. Van Damme, believe it or not, is really, really good. It's the people who just are not necessarily actors who are kind of a problem. Mainly like George St. Pierre, who's a mixed martial arts guy, not an actor. Gina Carano, believe it or not, despite being a mixed martial arts fighter, is still really good. Gina Carano has a huge future. I like her a lot. She's the best thing about this. So anyway, that is from RLJ Entertainment on Blu-ray. You know what? If you like the kickboxer movies, this is maybe the best one since the first. Not perfect, got all kinds of problems, but some good action if you can just overlook the acting.
How dare you?
And then, Cardboard Boxer, Terrence Howard and Thomas Hayden Church in a Well-Go release, which is perfectly fine. It's a little weird. Thomas Hayden Church plays a homeless guy, and it's a little tough to buy him as a homeless guy. Thomas Hayden Church, right? Doesn't really.
Yeah, what happened to that guy?
I don't know. I just whenever actors, like name actors and good-looking actors and people who are clearly not starving and not filthy, try to sort of dinge themselves up and play homeless, it never quite works for me. I don't hold it against the actors. I get why they want to do it, but it just, I don't know. It always feels a little bit glossed over.
Okay, it's Thomas Hayden Church. What else is on his dance card?
Yeah,
Nothing.
that's true. Anyway, so the idea here is that this is basically like Fight Club for homeless people. I don't know. That's what it is.
Fights. Do you remember?
I do.
Remember
Yeah.
Bum fights?
Yeah, that's well.
Folks, look it up. Bum fights. For a moment,
well,
bum fights was like
that. This is a dramatization of that.
a bum fights.
That's what it is. So anyway, but it's supposed to be like heart wrenching and gut wrenching, and Terrence Howard is fine, and Thomas Hayden Church gives it a good shot, but I don't know. It's okay. It's fine. It's decent. But probably more a rental than anything else. Directing debut for the director, Nate Lee. So Knate. We'll see where that goes.
Well, wait. Let me tell you something. Cillian Murphy and Jamie Dornan star in Anthropoid.
Oh,
I know what you're saying.
Nowhere.
Anthropoid.
I thought this was like a thing for a moment.
It's a science fiction film about an alien race of multi-legged creatures called the Anthropoids.
No,
it's not.
No, it's a World War II movie.
This is a World War II movie. This is actually based. This is a true story.
Yeah, I know.
Based on Operation Anthropoid, and it's about these two Czechoslovakian soldiers, played by Murphy and Dornan, who have a very special mission. They are tasked. Every time I say that, okay, say the word tasked.
Tasked.
Tasked. Say that.
Tasked.
Mm-hmm. I almost said it there. They are tasked with dropping into Czechoslovakia and assassinating Reinhard Heinrich, who was like the number 3 in command. He was kind of the architect of the final solution in real life.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So it's based on a true story.
It's just not a very exciting movie.
Yes. Now, what I like about this very dramatic true story based on a assassination attempt, has to deal with the Holocaust. I really love this part, Wade. Wade, read this off the box. Now, don't forget, true story, final solution, assassination, Holocaust. This is dramatic stuff. Yeah. This is serious stuff. So read the bottom there.
Oh, you mean the tagline or the...
No, the green thing.
The green thing. Includes digital download, plays on your mobile devices.
So I want to watch the assassination of the architect of the final solution.
Yeah, on your phone.
On my Samsung 7.
Yeah, of course. Why not?
Terrible.
Why not?
Anyway, so this movie, as you say, didn't go anywhere. I feel about this film the way I felt about Valkyrie, which is I would rather see a documentary about the same story than see this. But there was a moment where, as Wade says, where people thought, "Oh my God, this is going to be like a great thing, a historical drama and decent cast." But there's a whole lot of cliches in here, and I just think that the whole movie style was off-putting. It's shot in widescreen, which is fine, but almost all the shots are handheld, and it looks all wobbly and strange. So I'd pass on Anthropoid. Although if they want to make a movie about a race of aliens, multi-legged aliens that look like insects and invade Earth, they should consider calling it Anthropoid.
Yes.
Like this movie.
Morris from America won screenplay at Sundance. I like the tagline for Morris from America. Read the tagline, Mark. Morris from America.
The tagline is plays on your mobile device. Oh,
no,
that was the other one.
Read the tagline.
Morris from America. Nothing rhymes with Germany.
It's very funny. This is really quite a funny film.
What's his name? Well, Craig Robinson.
Yeah, Craig Robinson.
That guy's hilarious.
Yeah, Craig Robinson and Marquise Christmas are the stars here. Craig Robinson, really one of the best deadpan comic actors around. Very, very funny. But the subject here is Marky's Christmas, who is this 13-year-old kid who, with his dad, played by Craig Robinson, have just relocated to Germany. And as if that isn't enough of a fish out of water thing, his dad thinks that he is like this major rap star, and it just the whole thing just becomes insanely bizarre and funny and strangely touching. And it really it goes in all kinds of unpredictable directions. It's a very, very smart script, and I think it's a really wonderful movie. Morris from America will probably be in the mix for some awards. I think if people are willing to bend their perception a little bit, that's on Blu-ray along with Ultraviolet. Mark, Sea of Trees.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Sea of Trees.
Poor Malik.
What happens to a director when they just go completely off the rails? I mean, Gus Van Sant has been like all over the map for at least a decade. He's just...
It is true. I feel like he's in that weird, like, late second, early third act. He doesn't know what to do.
He wins the Palme d'Or with Elephant, and then he just starts going completely off the rails, trying to do all these very strange Bellatar-like slow things. And
it seemed like a Terrence Malick thing. That was my...
Yeah, it's just very odd. It's a really weird movie. It should have done better. They really dumped this, by the way. You know, this thing was released on like 2 screens and went nowhere. It just got so panned out of festivals. They didn't even try. They just really let it die. Lionsgate did. It's essentially Matthew McConaughey, Naomi Watts, 2 great directors. You would think with Gus Van Sant directing them, there's something to go through. It's basically it's just 2 people wandering through a forest. And there's a thing that this all centers on that leads them into the forest. Yes, there's a thing, but otherwise it's just this completely existential, meandering, rambling thing. It's a remake of a Japanese film, and I've never seen the Japanese film, and I have no idea if it's anything like this. But boy, what a strange misbegotten, stillborn thing this is. Also on Blu-ray with Ultraviolet.
Wade, Hollywood could always use a fascinating, exciting new director, don't you think?
Hopefully.
Especially if he used to be an executive. Like James Schamus.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's right.
Schamus is a man.
See, he is a man.
He's a dude.
The CEO of Focus Features. Right?
Long-time collaborator of Ang Lee.
That's right.
Yep.
He has finally directed a film. And it's quite a good film. Indignation. Now, Philip Roth, this is based on the Philip Roth novel, and Philip Roth is just stubbornly hard to adapt. There are just so many layers to his books, and it's really proven impossible to make a decent Philip Roth film. But I have to say that this one is one of the better ones. It's about this kid who grew up in New Jersey, and he's Jewish, and he's working class, but he winds up at this conservative college in Ohio, where he falls in love with one of his classmates. And so, so it's all about like the working class Jewish kid from Jersey versus like, the beautiful classmate who's from the other side of the tracks. And it's good. With Schamus, it's difficult because, he's seen all these filmmakers make their films, right? And he's dreamed of doing it himself. So what is he taking from each filmmaker that he has worked with and seen? What does he take from Ang Lee? What does he take from all the filmmakers the directors that he worked with in doing stuff for Focus? And there are moments when the movie's a little bit heavy-handed, and I get that, but it looks beautiful. It's very mature. It's one of the best Philip Roth adaptations you'll ever see. It's not a huge film. It's like a little period piece, whatever. But it looks really nice. It takes place in the early 50s, and it gets the look of academia just right. I didn't say macadamia, Wade. I said academia.
I know. I wasn't going to make that
pun. It out there. So I have to say that Indignation, even if the movie's not your cup of tea, it's nice to say that James Schamus is definitely a director.
He is.
And I hope that that this exquisite little piece is not forgotten.
I agree.
No, you don't.
All right, we're into classic movies now, or relatively classic, recent classics. You know what's out on 4K Ultra HD with HDR, Mark?
Star Wars.
The complete Hunger Games. It is out. All 4 films. And how does it look? Pasty. 4K. Pasty looking.
Really?
Yeah, pasty looking. You know, I was not a fan of the first film. I became more of a fan as it went along. I just thought I thought the shaky cam in the first film, the corners that they cut were just, it was an ugly movie. And it's ugly in 4K too. And the effects don't survive well on. They just look when you move CGI to higher resolution and you make it a little bit too obvious in the home environment, it really starts to look like paste and clay. It doesn't look good. So I mean, sure, if you want to double dip and get that higher resolution, the HDR, and if you want that crispness, but I don't know that it's. This is not state of the art 4K at this point. I hate to say no.
Are they? Is the transfer monkey not doing his job?
Transfer monkey's not. It's just I don't think the source material. I don't think it's there in the source material.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't. I just don't think I don't think the special effects are high quality enough. I don't. I really don't.
Wait, Criterion, they got a movie out.
Yeah.
Punch Drunk Love, which is quite a good film.
I love this film. I
saw
love this film. Why can't Adam Sandler be this person again? Why can't he do this again?
I saw this at the Cannes Film Festival, 2002, and I enjoyed it very much. And where this fits in Paul Thomas Anderson's CV is this one came after Boogie Nights, which of course was that nuclear explosion that just announced his arrival, and Magnolia, which I thought was just unbelievably fantastically brilliant. This one is almost like a little bit of a sweet little palate cleanser based on when compared to those two, and I just thought it was really a cool little interesting love story. Sandler plays a guy who sells novelty toilet plungers in the San Fernando Valley, which is where we are sitting right now recording this podcast. He meets this woman named Lena.
Misfit love story is what this is.
I
love misfit love stories. Some of them are more serious than others. This has just the right combination of comedy and pathos and quirkiness. It's really, really good. And Emily Watson is fantastic.
And Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
Right, it's got a great score by John Bryan, who does all of
it's great.
P.T. Anderson's films, and I just think this thing is just fantastic. It's great filmmaking. This is really Anderson, where you feel like he is in total command of what he wants. He's in total command of tone,
and it's really well thought out.
Yes.
It's a really well thought out thing. Yeah.
So there you go. It's very highly recommended.
Excellent. We also have the Rush Hour trilogy finally on Blu-ray.
Oh my God!
Yep, right. Look at the artwork. Isn't that great artwork? They went and got special artwork done.
No,
for this.
you know what? Okay, guys. There's this
better than the Star Trek Wrath of Khan artwork by far.
That the cartoon artwork trend has hit Star Trek Wrath of Khan, which is terrible, and they're doing the same thing for Rush Hour. I don't like it because that's got to live forever, man. That's got to be so good, it lives forever.
Have you noticed how it's possessory now? Look what's printed on it.
Brett Ratner's.
Yeah, now he gets a possessory credit because he's with Rat Pack and he can make demands like that. So it's Brett Ratner's Rush Hour trilogy. That's how they're doing this.
It's horrible.
Anyway, all three films really good transfers. Commentary by Ratner, which you can forget about. There's really nothing there. He just kind of rambles. Extra scenes, featurettes. But other, and a bonus disc with kind of the obligatory look back stuff, which is fine. It's not great. So extras are not really the selling point here, but the Mondo artwork is fine, and the transfers are really good. I did spend a couple of days on the set of Rush Hour 2. Was it 2? Was it 3? It was 2. I can't even remember which one it was. Anyway. That was very telling. That was really interesting. Downtown L.A. That was good times. I think it was 2. I'm pretty sure it was 2. Shows you where my head is these days. Anyway.
Don Coscarelli in 2002 directed a film called Bubba Ho-Tep, and I like this film. This film has its fans, of which I am kind of one. This stars Bruce Campbell and Ossie Davis. In the movie, which is not a documentary, Bruce Campbell plays an old and angry Elvis Presley. And he is in a Texas retirement home, and when a 3,000-year-old Egyptian mummy comes back to life, he's got to get medieval on him.
Right on.
It's funny.
Seriously, right on, I say.
Audio commentary with the author. Yep. New interviews with Coscarelli and Bruce Campbell. There's an older audio commentary with Coscarelli and Bruce Campbell. There's another audio commentary by, quote-unquote, the king, the Elvis guy that he plays in the movie. And yeah, this is fun stuff. I have to say, Bruce Campbell's made he's had a weird culty career. And this is one of the better moments of it. Bubba Ho-Tep.
So we've got a lot of great stuff from Kino this week. We haven't had a Kino segment in quite a while. Boom, lots of Kino. A really, really cool French language film from the director Andrzej Zulawski, however you want to pronounce it. I always hit a speed bump with Polish names. But what a fascinating movie. This is Cosmos. This is Zulawski's very, very final film. If you are familiar with his other movies, you understand exactly what you're getting into. It is his films are very kind of hallucinatory and ironic, which goes with that kind of that thing that you get in Polish films a lot. They sort of going all the way back to even the 70s. I think Polish films just sort of took a very bitterly ironic look at life. In any case. The story here is essentially I don't want to call it it's one of those existential coming to grips movies about a guy who's failed the bar exam, and he and his buddy wind up at a guest house run by Sabina Azema, the French actress, who here is paralyzed, and from there, everything turns kind of surreal and weird and life reflexive, and the question you start getting at all of those usual existential questions about life and love and what's real and what isn't. And it's a really unusual and very cool movie, very much in keeping with the other things that Zulawski has made. It's called Cosmos, and this comes in that really cool black packaging that they put onto their really cool foreign language films every once in a while over at Kino. So it's really cool stuff. Here's the rest of our Kino Classics line this week. A lot of great old movies. I Wake Up Screaming with Betty Grable and Victor Mature. Fun movie, totally cheesy, from 1941. This is not one of the great noirs, but it's a solid and very fun noir, and has a great commentary by Eddie Muller, a film noir historian, along with an alternate opening title sequence, which is really kind of fun. I just think this film is really a lot of fun. It doesn't make any sense, but it's not a great script, but it's done with such panache and such verve. You got to love it.
How about brio?
Brio. There's another critic word.
I hate that word.
Armand Assante.
Okay, here's what I hate.
Yeah.
I hate two things. I hate whenever a critic uses the word brio.
Mm-hmm.
I also hate in music.
You hate brie too, don't you?
Oh, I love brie. In music,
yeah.
Whenever there's a pop song or a rock song, and by the way, the Who have done this, and it's made me very angry, but I will automatically dismiss any rock song or pop song that tries to rhyme the word change with the word rearrange.
No.
You get that a lot in rock.
I know you do.
Like, there's going to be a change and my life's going to rearrange, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the Who, even the Who, they've done that before, and I hate that. It's just like the lamest rhyme.
It's like Night and Tonight.
Ugh.
Or Right and Tonight.
Stop doing that.
Armand Assante in I, the Jury plays Mike Hammer. Remake of the previous Mickey Spillane thriller. You know what? This is Mickey Spillane and Mike Hammer done 1980s style, so it has a little bit of a kind of a Michael Mann, Miami Vice vibe to it a little bit. We keep talking about Larry Cohen here. Larry Cohen wrote this thing. We talked about him last week. Larry Cohen. Great sporting performances. Alan King, Jeffrey Lewis, Barbara Carrera, of course. A lot of fun. Richard Heffron directed, rock solid director, and can't really fault this too much. The 80s vibe to it really works very nicely. We also have Western Union, one of Fritz Lang's American films. This is a Robert Young, Randolph Scott Western. Fritz Lang, not really in top form, doing a very workmanlike job. Clearly would rather be making, German science fiction films. preferably silent ones. But otherwise, a very, very solid movie. Just not if you're a Fritz Lang fan, but a decent cast. Dean Jagger shows up in this as well, who is also a big guy in the genre. The House on 92nd Street, another classic noir. This is directed by Henry Hathaway. Not one that really shows up on anybody's 10 best list, but it always shows up on everybody's favorite noir list somewhere. Eddie Mueller, a film noir historian who does a lot of these for Kino, also does a commentary here. Very solid commentary, very informative, lots of interesting insights and tidbits. This was directed by Henry Hathaway, who was mostly a Western director, but also could swap over to noir with great aplomb, as they often say. Gene Lockhart and William Post also co-star in this, alongside Lloyd Nolan and William Eighth. So it's a good film. House on 92nd Street, solid noir. Boomerang, another great noir. This was a Daryl Zanuck production with Dana Andrews. And this is just terrific, and mainly terrific because it's directed by Elia Kazan. And I am a big Elia Kazan fan. Just had a discussion with Ray the other day. Ray is so unforgiving of Kazan. He named names. It's like, you know what? Honestly, I don't care if he burned virgins in a volcano. I'm sorry, it's a good movie. You know what I mean? It's a good movie.
It's funny how we decide who to forgive. Do we forgive Woody Allen, or do we forgive Elia Kazan?
It's a good film. So
do we forgive Nate Parker? Do we? It's like
this
all
is,
that.
The thing about it is when Elia Kazan makes a noir, it like transcends noir. It becomes like one of it's it's almost too sophisticated for noir. It's too well acted for noir. It's more character centric. It's not plotty. It's really it's a great crime film. Really, really good. Made in 1947 and based on true events about the gunning down of a priest and everything that transpires as a result. Really just such a good movie. Great cast. Lee J. Cobb is unbelievable in this movie. You got to see it. That Boomerang, one of the just all-time greats.
Lee J. Cobb, by the way,
yeah,
as an actor, very corny.
You think so?
Corny. Cobb.
That one skipped right over me. Another great noir, directed by another great director, Otto Preminger, doing Daisy Kenyon, Joan Crawford, Dana Andrews, Henry Fonda, just terrific. By the way, speaking of Henry Fonda, have you seen the Sidney Lumet documentary yet?
No, what is that?
This is Sidney Lumet documentary. It came out just a few weeks ago.
It did?
Yeah.
No idea. What's it called?
Oh my gosh, it's Sidney Lumet something.
That's a weird name for a documentary.
Yeah, I can't remember the rest of it. I watched it last night.
Was it good?
Oh, so good.
Wait, would you watch a screener or a link?
A link. I'll send. Oh yeah, I'll send you. Yeah, it was fantastic. It really was.
I must see that now.
It's really good. It's really, really good. It's just, and he's interviewed all through it. I mean, extensively. I had no idea. I don't know why I didn't know this. I had no idea Sidney Lumet was a child actor in a Yiddish theater. That's how he began. Did you know that?
It was. I remember it being mentioned in his book, Making Movies, which I've read.
I remember reading the book, but for some reason that didn't stick. He was a child actor in Yiddish theater. That's great.
Wait. You're saying Lumet was Jewish?
Yeah, right?
Wow.
So anyway, Otto Preminger directing Joan Crawford, Dana Andrews, and Henry Fonda in Daisy Kenyon. What a great noir name that is. Fantastic love triangle in this one, and just so fascinating and intriguing. Henry Fonda is particularly good. Foster Hirsch does the audio commentary. And there's a documentary on Otto Preminger that is really interesting, and featurette as well. So that is a great Blu-ray. Daisy Kenyon, got to get that. And then Robert Siodmak, another great director of the day, directs our last noir of this sequence, which is Cry of the City, starring Victor Mature and Richard Conte. Shelley Winters also shows up in this. Victor Mature, a real cheesy actor. This is not top tier by any means, but it's fun. It's one of those childhood friends who one goes good, one goes wrong. It's one of those deals. And it takes a few interesting twists that a lot of these things don't usually take, so it's a little fresher than most. Made in 1948, right in the middle of this era, really very, very entertaining. Not top tier, but still very entertaining. All right, Mark.
Wade.
We got a new line from Shout Factory over there. The Shout Select line. What is Shout? Shout is now doing their own classic line, like everybody else seems to.
And you know what? They started with two good ones. I was a huge fan of Nighthawks when it came out, the Bruce Malmuth film. It stars Sylvester Stallone and Rutger Hauer, and of course Lindsay Wagner. And because it was a big deal at the time, ladies and gentlemen, because we're talking 1981, a couple years after Star Trek: The Motion Picture, it stars a very hairy, at least comparatively, Persis Khambatta.
Oh yeah,
I love this film. This film to me was so riveting that even the very strange thing that happens at the end, like the way that the bad guy, I'm being very vague here, the way the bad guy is ultimately dispatched, I was so riveted in this film that I didn't even care how ridiculous it was. But Stallone looks just his 80s best. And so Rutger Hauer plays a terrorist. He's coming from Europe. He's in Manhattan. And so Stallone and Billy D. Williams have to stop him. And I just thought this film was great. Nighthawks, good film, definitely very tense, good stuff. There's that, and also Death of a Salesman. This is I remember when this version of Death of a Salesman came out in the mid '80s. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was on PBS, as I remember it, and it's great. It's Dustin Hoffman and John Malkovich, and Dustin Hoffman is just Dustin Hoffman. What was interesting about Hoffman's performance is that he does not really come across as the ultimate Willy Loman, only because in my mind, Willy Loman was always this great big man brought low, right? And of course, Dustin Hoffman is not a great big man to be brought low. He's just like this mousy guy. But he's just so Dustin effing Hoffman that I just think he's great. Volker Schlondorf directed this, and it's just a total winner. Death of a Salesman, great stuff. There's a couple of extras on here, which I guess are fine, but really you should definitely rent this because this is probably the best Death of a Salesman. Definitely on film, as far as I'm concerned, and one of the better ones you'll even see on Broadway in terms of revivals. So I would definitely check out from 1985, Death of a Salesman, from Shout Select. Two good releases to launch that puppy.
So we have a fascinatingly bizarre phenomenon going on in anime. We've gotten a bunch of anime lately. I kid you not, Mark. This stack right here. See this? See this stack?
No.
It's all the same.
What?
I kid you not. It's going through this. I'm like, okay, so this is about a bunch of. This is basically about a bunch of big, cute, wide-eyed girls. Okay, it's kind of like a little mini sorority schoolgirl adventure movie. Okay, and this is a series about little wide-eyed girls and having their little adventure with the girls. This is a girl's adventure. This is a girl. It's like every one of these is about a pack of girls having an adventure. Every single freaking one of them.
Aww.
Every one. It's insane. These are like little. It's a trend. It's crazy. All kind of coinciding at the same time.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
No Biori. Repeat. 12 episodes from Sente. That's the first. I'm going to go right through these because it's all basically the same stuff. Wish Upon the Pleiades complete collection. Adorable. Look at that little blue critter thing. Wish Upon the Pleiades complete collection. This is crazy. They're all absolutely the same. Hello Kinmoza, Kinara Mosaic complete collection. This is season 2. And then My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu 2 TOO exclamation point. This is 13 episodes, complete collection. This is more the traditional schoolgirl deal, right? This is they wear the uniforms and it's a little bit more Sex in the City, right? A little more teenage, a little more grown up.
Whatever you say, Wade. Yeah. This is your world.
Well, it's not my world, but I immersed myself in it.
It's your world.
Season 4 of To Love Rue, Darkness 20, complete collection. I love the hair there. It's little punk hairstyles. Same deal. A little bit more risque. They wear underwear and bathing suits and whatnot. Chaika, the Coffin Princess, Avenging Battle. This is a fantasy thing. Okay, so this is more like they've got swords and magic, and they're fighting an evil beast sorcerer guy. Really good animation, by the way. This is really, really top-tier animation. 10 episodes plus OVA. That's that stuff that you get on disc that's not on television. That's a really good animation. Chaika, Chaika, the Coffin Princess, Avenging Battle. Actually, really, really good. Fun to look at. On DVD, not on Blu-ray, is Clamp School Detectives. Yes, they are detectives. And aren't they wild and crazy? And boy, it gets completely unhinged. But they're detectives. Rinne, Rinne, episodes 14 through 25, volume 2. This is based on a book. Doesn't make it any more accessible. It's still strange and bizarre and feudal and based in some kind of bizarre Japanese school world. Anyway, World Break, Aria of Curse for a Holy Swordsman. This is a Blu-ray and DVD combo pack. This is actually kind of fun to look at. Doesn't make any sense, but I want to say one thing. I just want to say one thing. And this is, like, hey, these teenagers really, really know how to mix it up. I just want to say one thing. Look at that cleavage. Nothing like anime cleavage, right?
It's true. That's all it is.
So
I've been to Japan. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Those people are twisted.
Yeah.
They seem quiet, but they are twisted people.
Yeah, well, anyway. Okay, so moving real quickly through some of these. Let's see. We also have Sakura Trick, complete collection, 12 episodes. The Labyrinth of Grisaya on DVD and on Blu-ray. This is 10 episodes. This is actually one of the cuter things of these. And then High School D&D. Have you watched this?
Oh yeah,
You watch this all the time, right? High School D&D. So yeah, it's this is more cute girls in uniforms and fantasy and all the rest of that stuff. It's just it's the same. It's all the same, Mark. It's all the same. It's all the same.
And yet you love them all.
It's all the same. No, it's amazing when you start watching it. You just go, it's all the same. It's really going in the same territory. They're schoolgirls. There's a beast. There's a magic. They gotta have an adventure. They got magic. It's on and on. It's like it's a strange theme. I've got to email Charles Solomon and get him to explain some of this to me. I just don't get it. Mark, we have a Vox box.
Really?
Yes, we do.
We haven't had a Vox box in months.
I know. Well, we got some of these before, and then you got sick, and then there were things happening, and so now we're back on track.
Okay. So can I do the thing?
Go ahead, do it.
It's Vox box.
Hey, Mark and Wade. This is Jason Levy. The intro from episode 35, that's the Alan Smithy intro, got me thinking, if there were any Alan Smithy films either of you have seen that either of you has liked and thought that the director of that film did not need to take the name Alan Smithy for the film they thought was so bad. Let me know. Bye.
I will start this off. Absolutely. My pick is the one that's actually produced by Alan Smithy, which is Student Bodies, which is a very, very funny. It was the original before Scream, before any of that stuff. That was the original slasher film spoof that in the 80s. It just mocked all of the whole Halloween and Friday the 13th thing. And I just think it's hysterical. It's silly, it's stupid, but I thought it was really a very clever and very, very funny satire. And when he's running down through the hallways of the school, why do I always pick joggers? Why do I always wear galoshes? It's funny stuff. It really it dissected it very nicely, and that's actually out finally on DVD, and that's available. And was never available before. Student Bodies is my Alan Smithy pick for a film that nobody should have taken an Alan Smithy on. That's a perfectly legitimate, not a great film, but perfectly legitimate film to take a credit on. Mark, are there any that you think? No? They're all
terrible.
They're all terrible.
If they were any good, the director wouldn't want his name taken off it.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's like if you look at the Alan Smithy films, they're all just terrible. And there's a reason.
Yeah, well.
I mean, I know it seems like a lame answer, but the fact is, I'm looking at the credits. I'm like, no. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I can make room for that in my life. Nah, maybe not.
All right.
Now, what's interesting is the directors who have asked for Alan Smithy to be their official credit. It's a kind of a who's who.
Yeah, who are they?
Steve.
No, I mean I know there are a handful of named directors, but I've never actually gone down the list. It's not commonly publicized.
It is not, but nowadays, with the internet and whatnot, you can find out what's going on.
I believe Michael Ritchie took an Alan Smithy on a film at some point.
Is that right?
I think so. Yeah, I think.
I mean, who else would direct The Birds 2? Who else would direct Who else would want credit? Who would even want to do The Birds 2? It's like why do it and then take your name off it? It's just don't even do it. It's ridiculous.
All right, and then we're going to wrap the show out this week.
Although, you know what?
Yes.
I guess American History X, right? Did American History X get an Alan Smithy?
No.
Okay.
What's his face? Tony Kaye. He took the credit for that.
Oh, he did take the credit.
Yeah, he did. He just took forever making it.
Exactly.
But he did that. Got some documentaries to wrap out with this week. Lucha Mexico or Lucha Mexico. This is a documentary about Lucha Libre, which we should all know from Nacho Libre is the masked Mexican wrestling. Look, not my scene. I'm not really a wrestling guy, but I got to tell you, it's a very, very funny and fascinating and weird and interesting world. And boy, this does a really good job of just plunging you in head first. Really quite a fun doc. Deep Web. I don't know how much of this is straight up paranoia. Have you followed any of this deep web stuff? Alex Winter, totally legit documentarian, made a lot of great films, did this. So I have to give it some credibility. But this all gets into the arrest of Ross William Ulbricht, who is the guy who was created that online black market known as Silk Road. Do you remember when that whole thing blew up?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this gets into that whole thing. And it kind of touches on all of these things that happen in the dark web, right? It's like that underworld, that mirror world of the internet where other things go on and it's unregulated and completely unmonitored and nobody really knows how to get into it. And once you're into it, it's like this other internet world of hackers and black marketeers and everything. It's very scary that even exists. And it makes sense that it would exist, but I don't know how much of this is sort of stoking paranoia. That being said, it's very, very good. Alex Winter, rock solid filmmaker, very, very good. And there's additional material in here that gets into things like Bitcoin and whatnot, commentary as well. And then 50 Years of Star Trek is the most fascinating documentary celebrating the 50th anniversary of Star Trek because you know who is not in this?
Shatner.
That's right. There's no Shat.
Because they probably didn't. They probably didn't back up the truck for him.
But still, you do a documentary celebrating the 50th anniversary of Star Trek that has Whoopi Goldberg in it, but there's no Shatner.
It's no point.
It's
but Shatner, he's directed his own Star Trek documentary, so why would he put his name on this?
I don't know. It's fluff. This is basically fluff. It's what it is. I mean, it's very fluffy. It's nice. It's sweet, but it's fluffy. It's very, very fluffy. And let's see. And then last one here. Among the Believers is a first-run features documentary that looks at the education system in Pakistan, specifically how it oftentimes radicalizes through madrasas, and it specifically looks at the cleric Abdulaziz Ghazi, who is one of these crazy Taliban-esque fanatics, and what he has wrought in Pakistan. And it is very disturbing and very upsetting, and is worth seeing. Not if you want to feel better about the world, but it is definitely worth checking out. And so with that, Mark, we are done this week. Next week, big holiday show.
Well, you're going to give me a holiday
You're
going to give me one.
I'm going to give you something. I'll give you something.
It'll be the lamest. It'll be like the Facts of Life or something.
Yeah, it'll be a thing. We haven't even received everything yet. We still got a lot of stuff. Hopefully it gets here in time. Otherwise, that's what the cleanup shows are for. So, all right. We'll see everybody next week.